What? What on earth is that? Where did this come from? Is this trying to tell me something? Do I make a choice? Procrastinate? Or do the big project I've been putting off? Well, that's an easy choice. Yep, I'm putting off the big project I've got to do today. I've been putting that off for a long time, and I'm still not ready to tackle that. I have a few other little projects I want to finish up around the area first, so I'm going to start tackling those first and work up the courage for the big one. One of the first things I wanted to take care of today was lighting up the path that connects the farm to the house that I'd built quite a while back. I had in the past already gone around and placed torches under the moss carpets, but I find that gives off a bit too much light at night time and makes things glow way too much, so I went round, dug up all the existing torches, and I went back over the area and used glow lichen to light things up, as I do find that glow lichen gives off less of a glow and looks much more natural at night time. And taking a look at the path when it is dark outside really does do the effort of the lighting this up justice. The lighting almost perfectly blends in with the natural ambient light and makes this much more enjoyable experience to walk around at night time. Now, I know I do have elytra, but sometimes I do just enjoy walking around the world at night time and enjoying the immersion of what I've built, and it is always more enjoyable not having to worry about a creeper popping out from around the corner and blowing it all up while I'm trying to do that. Now, if you cast your mind back to the last episode, I'm very, very certain that I said I was done with digging holes for a while, and as you can see by the beacon behind me and this big old hole, apparently I hate myself and I'm digging another big hole. Why am I doing that, you ask? Well, I'm at the bottom of the current wheat farm, and I came to the realisation that it just wasn't producing enough wheat to actually satisfy what I needed to make anything like packed mud in quite a large scale, so I'll be digging a big hole, and I'm going to fill all this up with extra layers of this, and the plan is, once that's all built and layered up, I'm going to have a collection system down at the bottom here. I'm then going to sort out a bit of an AFK platform at the top, pretty it up, make it look like it'll fit in with a bit farm aesthetic a bit more, rather than just the existing hole in the ground. And then we should have a nice little space to, AFK for wheat. Alright, so as you probably saw in the time lapse there, the wheat farm is now done, as long as the AFK area. If we head down in the same place, we have a nice little area sorted out. Interiors now still aren't my strong suit, so it's very, very sparse and basic in here, I think. I just wanted to give it kind of an impression of almost like a farm storage area kind of place. As you can probably tell with the hay bales, this is kind of like using campfires as kind of like pallets, and the bone blocks around. So we've got the two chests for holding each of the things that this generates. It's not generating any bone blocks right this second. Well, it shouldn't be doing too much. We just hop down right to the bottom. I've kind of got this in the bottom here, which is auto crafting from the seeds into the bone meal, and then obviously the wheat's coming out through here, and then they just got these big long shoots, and this is working quite well. It's still all designed and working in the original intention, where this is all one chunk wide. So if I just quickly get that, you can see this is all one chunk wide, so there shouldn't be any issues with the rail carts or any of the redstone underneath kind of like desinking or despawning due to going through chunk borders. And yeah, it's working quite well. This is producing a lot more than I originally had. As you can tell with that, that's probably just a few hours, whereas before I wasn't even getting a couple of stacks of wheat, so doing much better. But yeah, very pleased with this, and kind of like the design. So that's one job ticked off the list. On to the next one. Next job on my list, now that the wheat farm's out of the way, is to sort this guy out. Now this staircase has served as well. Gets us down to where we need to, well, where we needed to be down originally, to the skeleton farm down here. But what I wanted to kind of do is, well, what I wanted to do for a while, I should say, is I want to kind of get the path and join it up to the village over there. And I want to get it a bit more natural looking, kind of like theme it the same way that we've done here. And just kind of like the sheer drop down that the stairs do, it didn't kind of fit too well. I want to kind of make a path that goes and kind of like snakes along the cliffside, looks a bit more natural in how it goes down, a bit more smoother, and then we have it end up down at the village, connecting that up for when we get to decorating that a bit more later on as well. The first part in the process of building a path was getting the framework of where I wanted it to go. I laid it out using some coarse dirt so I could see how the rough plan would be to make sure it didn't look too steep when building it. I opted to snake it around a bit, as mentioned, to help with that, and it ties it more into a natural looking winding path idea that I was going for. Once the path itself was in a position I was happy with, I then went and added in the rocks and cliffs onto the side of the path so it looked like it was actually part of the existing cliff and not some weird floaty dirt blocks hanging around there doing nothing. I then took my usual approach here of getting the initial shaping of the cliffside with just stone. And then when I was happy with the shapes, I went back over all the stone and textured them with a mixture of blocks to break up that just plain stone texture, adding in some variation of textures and adding some light and detail in as well. Alrighty then, and there we have one path fully completed and built. As I said before, I went for a very kind of like similar design I've done before, just using lots of coarse dirts and stuff to kind of like keep it looking a bit natural. And yeah, the detail on this I'm really happy with. I've kept this looking fairly natural, got a lot of kind of foliage around. I've blended it into the cliffside. As you can see, this is actually cliffside now, and just texturing that all up. This is quite a long and windy path, but as I said originally, I wanted this to feel a bit more natural to walk along and in kind of how it looks, because I wouldn't imagine a natural looking kind of path going down just to be a sheer drop, because you wouldn't be able to get up or down realistically. So that's kind of the vibe I was going for there. I've kind of just finished up on a big job of lighting up the area, as I always like to do as well, as you can kind of like see dotted around, to make this all spawn proof at night time. And just look, it just makes it look kind of a hell of a lot better at night time, which is something that I really like to do, because I just don't like a lot of torchlight at night time, and I'm slowly making my way through this area anyway. So can do is quickly turn the lights off and I can show you, and we have this fantastic view at night time. Now it is night time, so it is dark, but up here, I mean, just I don't know if it's just me that gets so happy at seeing these kind of views at night time, but just look at this, look at how good this looks at night time. we take just a run down. Just look. Everything's spawn-proof. So, yep, everything's, well, it's already on. Everything's spawn-proof, as we can see. And it just looks so nice. So blends so much nicer into the environment than kind of like this bit does over here. This kind of all that goes all the way down. Ignore that skeleton because that bit's not being spawn-proofed yet. As I said, I'm making my way through this as I go. But yeah, let's head up into FreeCam. Just a stark difference between this area and this over there. That just looks fantastic. I am so pleased with this. So pleased. Now, last thing on today's list that I want to get done is something I've been putting off for a while as well. I've neglected the village a bit itself, as you can see. I've not really done anything except for those two houses for a long while. So I've picked a building, which is the blacksmith here, which so she left this as just a template to get to, and we both forgot about it. So I'm going to take this down. I'm going to throw together a quick area of how I want the building to look. I've not really planned this at all. I've got a mood board on my other screen. I'm going to wing this and see how it goes. Alright, well that looks to be the base shape that I'm pretty happy with. So I've gone for an idea, it's for kind of like a two-sided building. So this is going to be kind of like the main area of the blacksmith building, probably the residence where they'd stay, probably have some tools station, I'm thinking in the back over this way, or like a very, very small living area here. What I've gone for here is kind of a design I saw, which I thought was pretty cool. Was most of the blacksmith designs I saw kind of like were almost an L shape, and I did see kind of a design where there was almost like where the plan was, with the building itself was all more open. But I've kind of gone for a building, like a proper enclosed building, and then I wanted the style for where you can kind of like walk through this. I may cover this up. I may have this kind of like blocked in like that. I'm not too sure just yet. And then this is going to be the building where I'd see where the forge is almost. So I'm planning to probably have like a big chimney coming out of the back here or something, just jutting out. Just ignore the sheer cliff at the moment. I will be terraforming that in. So let's grab some materials. What I do, oh, I already have sprucing. I do want to go with the kind of like a similar palette that I've got going on for the church and for over these buildings as well, where everything's kind of like greys, maybe deep slits for the roofing, just to keep in theme with the areas and the style that I'm trying to go for, because we're meant to be in a mountainous area, so most things will be out of stone. So let's quickly grab my spruce and we can start throwing some corners or some logs in to at least make this not a square box of stone, because as nice and simple as that is, I'm going to be shouted at if I leave that in like that. There's something to be said about getting the natural lighting in place on builds and areas. This is one of the main things I love about this game, in all honesty, just getting some nice buildings in place, having it spawn proof but not looking like it's illuminated too much. And this is just all blended in really nicely, especially with all the foliage, everything. And we do have a finished blacksmith now. So I did, obviously, you've probably seen, I've gone away and put some detailing all around. We've got the actual blacksmithy area in here, which is like where the forge would be. Got some storage and stuff scattered around in the back, and just the odd bits of shrubs, just to kind of like blend it in, looking like to make it look like weeds. The front's kind of the similar, there's just lots of storage around. The inside is, I'm really not good with insides in interior decorating, so bear with me on this bit, please. Yeah, so I've just kind of gone very minimalistic here. I've just got some kind of like smelters and stuff, the blacksmithy looking things that you'd potentially see. There's not much here, and again, decoration's not my forte. Upstairs I've got a rough little kind of like bed area where the blacksmith would sleep. I put it upstairs because I didn't think there would be enough space in downstairs, and it would kind of look a bit odd having both a bed and a work area downstairs. If we head down here, so this is the main reason I wanted to build this blacksmith today, is I had these toolsmiths that I made just to get a bit more extra emeralds. So this is the intention of the entire build, so I've moved these guys over here to keep it a bit thematic. I've got lots of iron from our iron farm just in here, just ready to trade away. Yeah, just nice little downstairs area for these guys to stay and remain there forever. Don't know that. Shh. But yeah, our build is very much done. I don't think there's anything really much I like to change on this. There is the lighting from the campfires in the chimney there, which I think shelves don't let light through. Now I need to verify that once I update to that version of Minecraft, but hopefully if the shelves don't let light through, I want to replace the trapdoors there, and then that should stop the lighting at the top. Now obviously this is the important view that I wanted to go for as well. As you can see, look, this is making the village look a lot better now. Now I'm getting a bit of building in. I've got a bit of terraforming in the back there for it. So it just adds a bit extra onto the village. So it's slowly coming along. I probably will aim to just chip away at this over time and just make, just add buildings as we go along there to make this look it's coming together now. You can see one more building has made a world of difference. But with that, I think this is a perfect place to leave the episode for today. And as always, thank you for watching if you have. It's always appreciated. And I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.